Hello? Do you
Good
hear?
morning, everybody. Do you want to open your cameras?
Yes,
Good.
I'm not in a place with enough light to so all of
Okay.
you can go see my face.
Okay.
But good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Norma, Lee, Christine, Paula. I'm Estela Neves, the professor of your course. I'm delighted to meet you, lively, and I would like to propose that we make a first round, that everybody introduces him herself, and we can clarify doubts, comments, ideas, proposals. It's a free speech here. So who will be the first one? Ladies
I can
first.
do that,
Anna?
if nobody objects.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
please, Lee, please.
I'm wondering whether I was the only one from overseas, because from the comment column, it seems I'm the only one, but thank you so much for letting me into this program, because it's a hot topic about the environment governance and protection, and there are many competitions, and also many different voices about how we proceed to preserve and govern the environment protection. And that's why I was so glad and kind of honored for professor and for colleagues to let me in this program. This is Jiang Dao Li. You can call me Lee or Robert. Just Lee will be okay, because it seems there's no other Lees in the class, although we have many Lees in China. And I'm currently MPA student at Tsinghua University, a School of Public Management, and also I was working in government sector, and that's why I know more about the Ministry of Disaster Management, just founded about 5 years ago, and also I'm from Hebei province. It's just as a province surrounding Beijing municipality, and that's why I have kind of special concern for the flood-stricken area this year, because it is hard to imagine that when we say that China is already second large economy, but China is still suffering many natural disasters, and sometimes there is a problem. But the kind of new phenomenon is the Chinese netizens, the Chinese public, are getting more and more involved in this public management, because they can voice their concerns and voice their disaffections where online channels, TikToks, WeChat, and they publish their video, because video usually do not lie. So they will kind of corner the public officials that they have to do their duty for the environment protection. And there is also another mechanism. I think we copied from other countries. I don't know whether it's Brazil or not, because currently we are implementing the, how to say, the head of the river or the head of the lake kind of system, that we designate one person or one team to be in charge of certain length of the river or a certain lake, and anything happens, this person, this team will be responsible. But on the reverse one, that he has a full authority to guard against all kinds of pollution against this river, against the lake. And I do hope that I was so glad that for the week one's assignment, there was a paper, I forgot which one, it was just said that the more we read, the more we found out people talking about environment protection, the more we found that we know so less about. And that's why I look forward to learn more about how we do a better job in environmental governance. And one field I was quite interested in, and I was wondering whether maybe later one way we can focus on this, is about the electric vehicles sector development, because there was many electric vehicles launched into the market, saying it has a good benefits in pushing out the traditional fuel-powered vehicle, there is also another voice saying that because the electric vehicle involves a lot of minerals to produce the batteries. However, in producing the battery or in the future when we're recycling the battery, there might be kind of pollution to the environment as well. So we do not know whether any or we can start a topic upon this. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Lee. It's very good to count on you in this course because you are so motivated to discuss and to push forward in environmental governance matters. Sorry. Environmental policy agenda is very wide. So it's very important that we can share our special interests here because whenever I am organizing the classes, we can study cases and that meet our major interests. So it is very useful that you can tell us which are the most interesting or challenging themes from environmental agenda. This will help me very much to organize the classes. For us in the college, this is the first experience in this program, Global Hybrid Classroom. So we have to learn a lot, and the more we share our doubts and our interests, the better we can organize further on. So I thank you very much for your comments. Who's next? Oh, sorry. No sound?
Norma, Norma she has a problem with her speaker, but she said she's the researcher in the area of so I think we can go to Jan, maybe. Are you there?
Okay. So Norma, very nice to meet you. While you don't fix your problem with the micro, you can write your ideas and your questions in the chat. We are monitoring here, okay? Very nice to meet you. Now, who's next?
I think maybe
I
Jan?
can speak next. Well, my name is Ian. I'm a doctorate student in the University UFRJ and currently in a environmental engineer program. I'm kind of new in all of this environmental governance and social part of things. Is a kind of it's kind of a subject that is rising a lot lately. So I thought it was interesting for my own formation that I could learn more about. So I won't bring anything new, but I'm here more to listen and to learn, to understand all the actions that have been done to mitigate many of the impacts that we caused throughout the years, and we need to try to, and that there's a lot of concern that how can we mitigate these effects that we saw and continue to see every day. I know there's a lot of politics, not policies that we to improve, or at least to reduce all the impacts that we are experiencing. And for me, it's is opportunity to learn more and to understand more, because it's something that is not from my own formation, because I'm graduating biology in UFRJ, and so it's a kind of thing that we don't learn and don't study as well. We much focus in all the biological aspects, other disciplines in the biology, but nothing in how the what policies and what actions are being doing to better protect and mitigate environmental impacts. And since I've been working working with this kind of line of work, this line of work with understanding how we impact the environment and how we can mitigate this impact. For me, it's an opportunity to learn more and to understand more about this subject.
Thank you, Jan, for your comments. I'm afraid I have to disagree in one point you pointed out, is that you said you think you don't have much to contribute, so you think you'd rather hear and learn from everybody. I disagree. I must tell you, from all my academic and professional experience, there is no such a thing as an expert in environmental policy. The real subject in environmental policy is a collective work. So we never know everything we have to know to tackle a problem. What we have to know is whom asks the good questions. Always you will work with a group of specialists, with a group of policymakers, of a group of researchers, because environmental policy is structurally an interdisciplinary subject. Many disciplines contribute. So this meeting is very important for me, so that I can figure out the profile of our collective class, because then we'll be one, a group of people with many different professional and academic backgrounds, and each one has so much to contribute, and it will always lack somebody with another expertise. And our work is to learn whom we have to address the right questions when we have to face an environmental problem and an environmental challenge. I don't know if I make myself clear, but I think you have much to contribute with your engineering background and with your questions.
I hope so, that I could contribute, that I might contribute with the course, with this course, and I hope. I don't know if I will, but if I can, but I hope I will eventually contribute with this course, of course, and even if I don't have this much of this background, environmental policies, I do work with in ecotoxicology, that we evaluate the impacts of substance in the environment. So these kind of results helps a lot with how we manage these contaminants in the environment, how we could treat them or choose not to use them to avoid this kind of pollutants in an environment. I especially focus on an oil and gas industry. I worked in at least 8 years in a Petrobras project, evaluating impacts of oil and gas, especially oil and gas activities, impacts on ecosystems. So I hope I could provide some kind of input of knowledge and things that we could increase our knowledge. But and also I want to learn more, and so and that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Jan. Thank you so much. Be most welcome.
Thank you.
Who's next to introduce him herself? Before sorry, before transferring, there is a comment. Norma has problems with her micro, so she wrote, microorganisms may be used to increase tolerance to climatic changes and stress conditions. We are committed to that. Very interesting, Norma. I think that climate change is a subject that haunts us all hours every day, and is one of the most important issues of environmental agenda. We will not tackle exclusively climate change, but certainly in our empirical considerations and case studies, we will address climate change issues, and it will be a pleasure that you can contribute from your professional and academic background. Sorry, Christine, I cut you, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, hi, everybody. Good morning and good evening, Lee. It's so glad to see you here. And I have to be the one completely disagreeing from Ian, in the sense that I am the one who has to learn most from all of you, because I'm not from the area at all. And I have to start saying that I am the luckiest person ever, because my job here is to be an instructional designer. So I'm here to help out Stella, making her course even better, if that is possible at all. So my job here is to plan the best way to deliver all the wonderful information that she has planned, to give to you, to help you learn all the wonderful stuff that she has prepared. And that's my job, actually. I'm an instructional designer. So I'm the luckiest person ever, because in my profession, what happens is that I learn a lot in whatever area it is. So Lee, I've just prepared a course, I helped design a course on renewable energies, and first from the ocean, and then renewable energies in general. And we talked a lot about electric vehicles, so that I learned a lot about electric vehicles, in all kinds of electric vehicles. I didn't know there was so many different kinds of electric vehicles, light electric vehicles, two wheels electric vehicles. So I learned a lot, and how to maintain them, and well, all that stuff. So I learned a lot, and I've been learning a lot with Stella, and so that's what I'm here for. So I'm very glad to meet you all. So my job here is to help you have the greatest learning experience ever. So I hope that I can help you in this sense. And I'm here for whatever you need in terms of navigating Moodle, and in terms of any difficulty you may face in the environment, or whatever you might have problems with. So, and so I'm the one to learn with all of you. So no, Ian, you're not the one to learn. I'm the one to learn from all of you. Okay, and I hope I can help you in any way. So that's it. So that's all I had to say. All right, I'm going to be on the move in like 3 minutes more, because I'm outside Rio in a meeting, and my bus is leaving for the meeting place in a while. So I'm going to shut my camera and my mic so that I won't bother you. But I'm still going to be listening to you guys, and whatever you need from me, I'm going to be here. Okay.
Thank you so much, Christine. We're very lucky to count on you, and you will be. We will meet next Wednesday. Okay. So today you can go out earlier, but we want you now.
Yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to shut my camera and my mic, but I'm going to be with you anyway. Okay.
Thank you so much. Before opening the word, I'd like to read Fernanda Haskell's comments, and ask her to talk herself, and if possible, to open the camera. Whoever may has the technological conditions to open the camera, it will be very welcome. Fernanda wrote down here in the chat that she has worked in a common popular governance program. The most important challenge is the horizontal relationship between communities, universities, and municipal government. I am totally motivated for this subject, or of civil society connections with public policies and with public sector. And I'd like you to complement your comments, Fernanda. Nice to meet you.
I think she has a problem in her mic as well.
Okay. So thank you for the blip. we already know how you look like now. Who's next to introduce him herself? Albino, Carol.
Thank you, teacher. I can be the next.
Thank you, Albino.
So I am Albino José Eusébio. I'm from Mozambique, and I speaking from Mozambique now.
Oh, this is really
oh, thank you. I have a doctorate at sociology from Federal University of Pará, Brazil, and I have a postdoctorate from Institute of Urban and Regional Research and Planning at Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. So I'm a member of Environmental Society and Collective Action Research Group at Federal University of Pará. And my research experience focus on environmental and social impacts of large mining projects on local communities here in Mozambique. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to learn about environmental governance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Albino. I'm so happy. We are really a global classroom. We have students from Brazil, the majority, but we have also Lee from China, Albino from Mozambique, and Hervé from France. So this is very important for me, so that I can adapt the bibliography and to count in this diversity of experiences. This is so enriching. I'm really happy to hear from you. And your theme of interest is very important for us in Brazil too, Albino. We had major disasters with big mining plants, and we are just struggling to respond as a country and as a state to all the damages that have been caused by two major disasters into mining plants. And we have certainly many things to share. Environmental policy, we will discuss this in the next class, is a kind of policy that it doesn't have receipts. We don't have protocols pre-designed that fit in every situation. You know how medicines work? They have a big dictionary of diseases, and so they are all organized and in taxonomies and in lists. We in environmental policy, we are always learning. We have similar problems all throughout the globe, the planet, but the same problems fit in different natural and cultural and social political environments. So the responses have to be local and adapted to each situation, to each state capacities, to each social economic profile. So it's a typical policy area that we are learning while we are facing the problems. But on the other hand, this learning process is object of discussing and sharing among all environmental policymakers around the world. So we have many, very much to learn from good experiences and also from bad experiences. What functioned all right and what did not function so well. So we have we can't stay only in a theoretical plan or in a programmatic plan. We have to discuss concrete cases and observe and analyze and learn from every response in every country. This is it. I talk too much. It's good to be here because you provoke so many ideas, and I don't know if I made myself clear. Please, whenever you don't understand or if the wording is rather obscure, please tell me so I can word it different, okay? Now, who's next?
Hi, nice to meet you all. Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolina. I'm graduated from the Federal University of Janeiro in chemical engineering. Sustainability and environmental things is something that fascinates me since I was younger. And today I'm working with ESG and sustainable finance in the Bank of Communications. And I hope I can contribute with this course and of course learn more and and dive deep in this thing that is huge. You have a lot of kind of things inside of the subject, and climate change I think is a big challenge today. But not only this, we have all the environmental risks and impacts that society that lives today have beyond the environment. So I hope I can learn a lot and contribute to the course with my experience with the thing.
For sure you will, Carolina. Very nice to meet you. Be welcome. And yes, we are all, as I said, haunted by climate change. Every day there is a new evidence that things are changing and faster than we thought, and already in an irreversible manner. So our policies should not try to bring back previous situations, but adapt ourselves for what is coming. I like to tell you one conversation I had yesterday. I was in a seminar, and the director of the Botanical Garden of Rio de Janeiro, he was telling us that botanics are very worried about climate change because there are many species that are not threatened today, but will be threatened tomorrow. We don't know exactly when, because as the temperature rises, they will be extinct in the areas that they are now, that for centuries and centuries always were the best areas for them to adapt. So he was telling that there are researchers that are looking for how to transplant species that are in vulnerable areas that will change very rapidly in order to replant them in the areas that tomorrow will have the same characteristics of the area they are today, in order not to let them disappear. So there are so many huge problems for scientists and for policymakers. You imagine, it was really a kind of science fiction film that he was telling us, but for real, you know. So I have to refrain myself from commenting. So let's move on to who's next? Stefania, could you introduce yourself? Oh, she wrote down here, sorry. Hi, everyone. Sorry for being late. I had a problem with my internet, which is still instable. Sorry for that. Can you just open your mic to say some words, Stefania, or it's really weird for you? Difficult. I think it's difficult because she did not respond.
Yeah, let me just introduce myself really quickly because
yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Paula, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and I'm currently part of the organization of this course. So I'm helping. I work with Professor Estela and also Christine in organizing this. Stella, I would like to suggest that you do a quick reminder of the activities going on now in the platform. So they.
Yes, you read my thoughts. I was thinking of that. I hope you have noticed that we have weekly activities, and from class 1, we had some reading tasks to do, and also a small a quick research whose results you should share with the other students at the forum. So we have some students that have already accomplished these tasks timely, and I thank you for that, all those who accomplished in time. But we know that in the first week, it's always an adapting time for some in order to organize its own schedule, no, his or her own schedule. But today we will upload the second class with new tasks. So I recommend strongly that you can make some effort to catch up, because otherwise things will become harder to organize and to take advantage of this very rich and promising forum that reaches 4 continents that we organize and that we will enjoy in the next 9 weeks. And I would ask you all, students, if there is something you would like to clarify, if there is something that it's a kind of obscure, or if you want to ask us anything about the course, its organization, the first class, well, anything. We are here to the extent of our possibilities to respond immediately, or to take a look of what you asked and respond very quickly.
Yeah, this is the place for it. You can bring your questions to this weekly meeting that we'll have. So that's one of the purpose of this meeting, is that to discuss different questions you might have.
Yes.
Yeah, Professor
yes.
Estela. Oh, sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting others speak. I was wondering, because the documents you provided, also the videos are quite rich, and some are, especially the one with the film star Richard is quite impressive. But some of the documents, because it seems that it's published in the 1960s, and last week I just did the 2009 one, but because there was many researchers, there was many new discoveries. So if we can share more recent documents, that will be more enticing because it's involved like I remember in the paper it said about I forgot the name. It is something just connected with the COVID-19 pandemic, when other people are worried about whether there was a floating of particles in the air that can transmit the virus, but it's also involved in their research about the climate change. So if we can share more recent like published documents, it'll be more convincing, or it can provide more challenging questions or more topics open for us to share the views. That's one point.
Okay, thank you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Accepted. We will strive to enlarge the references, bibliographic references. You know, sometimes I doubt if I put too little or too much, you know, because we have to point out the most important documents. There are ones that should be compulsory to read them. Others are very interesting, and others may be interesting for some and not for others. And we also have two kinds of bibliography. We have the academic discussion, that is very important, but also we have the institutional documents that, from a slightly different point of view, discuss the same subjects, but have different goals. As we are here to discuss environmental policy, stemming from the public policy realm, from the environmental policy ground, we have to give equal importance to the academic discussions, to the theoretical and political discussions, and to the institutional discussions, because finally, the institutional initiatives are the ones who embody and make concrete environmental policy. So you will see today in our second class, it's a very traditional class, this one that we will upload today, because we will discuss some key concepts for environmental policy. What is environment? What is ecosystem? Is it true that ecological problems mean the same thing as environmental problems? What is sustainable development? Is sustainable development equal to sustainability, or they mean different things? This is very tricky in environmental policy, because as we have many disciplines and many vantage points, a same term is always subject of discussion. There are very few things that are object of consensus around all environmentalists and environmental policymakers. So why am I saying that? Because in the video class, I try to expose a bit the theoretical discussions about what is environmental problem and what is ecological problem, what people think about sustainable development. But finally, what counts for us as policymakers is what the world did with these notions and with these concepts. So for us, one of the most important things are the Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations, because it's on them, on this wording of sustainable development, that more than 100 countries made commitment around themselves and tried to together reach some key targets on 17 sustainable development objectives. So it's not a question to discuss what is more important, the theoretical discussion or the institutional discussions. We have to respond for both. We have to manage at least to be familiar with the theoretical discussions and with the institutional meaning, and what institutions, meaning international institutions and national institutions, do with those concepts. Why? Because here you are a student, but perhaps when you go out of Zoom, when you shut down Zoom, you are a secretary for the environment of an important Chinese province or local government, and you have to hold a meeting with communities and with environmentalists of different strands, and each one has an interpretation of what is good for the environment. You have to know their thoughts, their way of thought. This is why we have so many discussions on so many concepts, and why our bibliography is so huge. So I will try to keep track of the amount of documents and texts that I give you. But please, if you need something special, write down in our forum or an email for me, that I will try to do my best to respond to your particular needs and interests. Paula?
Yes, just to complement that, there are seminal papers on the field that all the students should read, no matter when they were published. And also that the first class was about the origins of environmental policy and governance. So it's important to learn about the history, how it all developed. So that's why we have some, we need to discuss older, like to read older and texts which were important at the time.
Yeah, because important to catch up this question that you both tackled, because, for instance, one of the first documents that provoked environmental policy was the limit to growth, and there is about a half century, and we did not see clearly about how much we have to growth, and if it's possible to growth sustain in a sustainable manner. So there are unanswered questions that keep coming and influencing the discussions up to now. The overconsumption of non-renewable resources. The first oil crisis was in the 70s. We are still discussing, and it's very hard in the political realm to propose energy transition. Oil companies don't allow that. They make the most fierce opposition to that. So it's a difficult. Who was talking about oil and gas? Was Jan? No, Jan? No, Jan is toxicology. No, it's Jan. It's Jan who was working in oil and gas. Oil and gas is a silent but powerful player in the environmental arena, and they don't contribute to the research to new energy sources and to important and quality shifts in the energy framework of each country. It's very, very difficult. So this is why we have to keep in mind the first questions of the global environmental governance, because some of them are influencing our discussions and our negotiations and our agreements and conventions up to now. As well, today we uploaded references of dictionary of environmental terms. Those dictionaries were rather written in the 80s and 90s. And we don't have so many recent versions of environmental vocabulary, but it is not needed. It's very interesting. I thought that we would find many new versions adding more and more terms, but no, the dictionaries that are used are the ones who were written in the 90s, and so on. Well, I think that everybody introduced him herself. Shall we do a second round of questions just to wrap up, because we have 14 minutes? I'm so very happy. This gave so much life to the work we're doing. So happy to see your faces and hear your voices, or to read your comments. This is very, very, very important.
Thank you for that clarification. I think it kind of really gave me the explanation. And also I was quite interested in how a powerful multilateral, especially in the traditional energy sector, they are influencing. And the recent development is someone like Shell and other. I think ExxonMobil, they are also devoting more efforts in transferring into the new energy sector, because it seems that the trend of protecting the environment is unstoppable. I think that's why they are beginning also to do something to adjust their company strategies. That is a quite good point. And if you later on, I agree with you, totally agree. I think you convinced me successfully. And if there was later on, there was like case studies about like certain company who have been doing that, or how it influence. That will be quite interesting. You to share related research or documents, or even clues for us to find out ourselves. Thank you.
Good. Wonderful. And if you find new things or other things that are interesting and meaningful for you, please share with us. This is a wonderful opportunity to enrich our references. So, any questions, any comments, or should we? Yes. You are already in your working environment.
Something that I thought that, well, two things. One thing is that it's worth reminding that in our learning environment, there are plenty of buttons. Now, today you see like 3 buttons, and you're going to see the 4th sorry, button regarding the second week. And the second button is a place where you can find a forum of discussion, each one for 1 week. So first thing, if you have doubts apart from this meeting, that when you can share and in a more informal and synchronous way, and if you have doubts, that's a place where you can put your doubts on the contents, on any subject that you might want to discuss about the subject that Stella brings weekly for everybody. So there is one forum for each week. So you have to go to the second button, and you're going to find the place where all the forms are aggregated for us to use. This is one thing. And one thing that I thought that might be interesting, if Stella finds it worth it, is I could add to either to this week or to this second button area, a board, an electronic board, where we could like add post-its, electronic post-its, to put our interests, like to share our interests, our common interests. Like like Lee would like to talk about electric vehicles, for example. So that's something that we should have a place to, not the doubts. You see, it's not about putting the doubts. The doubts are to be put in the forums. But maybe if we have this panel, like, you know, where you would put like post-its, like, oh, this is something I'd like to talk about, then Stella would be able to know where to direct her thoughts and her bibliography or something. Even in this meeting, to our weekly meeting, maybe there is a theme, there is a subject, there's something that may be interesting for us to know. What do you think? Should I do that?
I think we should make an experiment, huh?
Yeah.
I think it might be very, very interesting. Let's do an experiment and see. Okay,
What happens?
wonderful. Thank you for the suggestion, Christine.
Okay, so just give me some time. I probably won't be able to do this. Well, up to the end of the day, probably I can do that. And
Wonderful.
yeah, so that's it. Okay, I think it will be nice to have a place like this. The course will be even nicer than it is.
Yeah, and vibrant too. We have much to say.
Okay.
Wonderful. So, dear all, Paul, sorry? No, I thought somebody started to speak. So if we already discussed and shared everything we wanted today, I think that we can say goodbye. See you next Wednesday. It was a real pleasure to meet you. And I hope we can make a good journey on these next 9 weeks. For sure. And see you next Wednesday. Have a wonderful week. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for your presence. Ciao.